Goodness, Sarah. I think none of us were expecting that one. But, gosh. Sarah needs a beer. Sarah needs 2 beers. Well, thank you. Give it up once more for Sarah. And for Sarah's dad. And now up is one of our repeat storytellers, Thaís.
Yeah, it's a really hard one to follow up. So, I have this pair of boots that I got about 3 years ago when I was in BC. Traveling with some friends, and I really needed a pair of boots. And so I got into H&M and I picked like a couple pairs. I really hate shopping. And I went to the cashier to see how much they cost. And when I got to the second pair, the cashier started looking at the screen, looking at the pair, looking at me, looking at the boots, looking at me, looking at the screen for like a while. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, they cost $3. And I'm like, okay, that's the one I'm taking. So I left the store and I was super happy, and I put the shoes right away, started walking around telling everyone that they cost $3, and I started wearing them everywhere. Everywhere. Like, I went on hikes, I went to parties, I went to work, I went everywhere with that pair of shoes. And a couple of years went by, and I was still wearing those shoes. And they, started getting pretty old, as you would expect. They cost $3. But it was sort of like my thing. Everyone knew about my $3 pair of shoes. They started like getting really old and looking really bad, but I was still like, no, I can still wear them. It's fine, I can still wear them. And I was still wearing them until like the laces started getting like really, really damaged. Like I actually had to cut them off to untie them because I couldn't do it otherwise. And I did it for a while until like I got no laces. Like I didn't have anything left. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get a new pair. Like, I gotta do it. And I went there and I got a new pair and started wearing those shoes. But I wore them for a couple weeks and I really didn't like them. I was just like, they're not as comfortable, they're not as nice as the other one. We've been through so much, like I cannot just like leave them like that. So I'm just gonna trade the laces. Like I'm gonna keep wearing my old shoes. And I did that. And after a few months of doing that, I met with some old friends that I hadn't seen for a while, and they looked at my shoes and they're like, I cannot believe you're still wearing those. And I'm like, well, like, you're still wearable? I'll stop wearing them when I can, when they're really, really bad. And they're like, well, they have like a huge rip on the side, so you should probably do it right now. And I'm like, no, I'll stop wearing them when they're completely unwearable. Well, I mean, I guess everyone's probably wondering, like, why the hell am I listening to a story about a pair of shoes? And the reason is because I kind of, like, realized recently that this is sort of, like, a metaphor for everything in my life. I always wear everything until I cannot wear them anymore. I'm actually wearing that pair of boots right now. And I feel like I kind of do that with everything in my life. I wear clothes, shoes, I stay at a job, I stay in a relationship. I do everything until I can't anymore. When I came to Chile, actually, I came to work at an online company. I came to teach online. And I got the job before I came here, and I knew that I didn't really like to teach online. Like, I knew that I had never tried it, but I sort of knew that it would probably not be my thing. But I'm like, well, I want to live in a different country. I already have the job, so I'm just going to go. And I got here, and I realized that I actually had to work really, really weird hours. It was only when I got here that they told me that I had to work evenings and weekends. So I worked every day till like 1 a.m., and I worked weekends. But I was like, okay, like I got flexible hours, it's fine, I'm going to do it, I can do it. And I didn't have a and I didn't have my visa, so I couldn't really do anything else. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here. It's fine. Like, I got some cash. Like, I already got the job before I came here. It's okay. And I kept doing it for a few months, and it started getting worse, actually. You know, like, I used to work 40 hours a week. It went from 40 to 60, even 70 hours a week. I didn't have weekends. I didn't have evenings. I didn't really have a social life. And it got to the point, and I hated the place, and it was really hostile. I really, really didn't like it. But I still kept going. I'm like, no, it's fine. I can do this. I can do this. And it got to the point where I would walk into the office, and I would start crying. I started having really bad anxiety attacks. I would start crying, and I couldn't stop, and I knew everyone could see me crying, and I didn't know how to respond, how to say why I was crying. But I was crying, but I would go and teach my classes, and it was fine. And I'm like, no, I can still teach my classes. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna go home in a couple weeks, like a couple months, I don't know, like on holidays. So it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be okay. And my friends started actually telling me, why are you still at this job? We're gonna help you find a new job. You can do other things. I can help you find other students. It's gonna be fine. And I'm like, no, I'm already here. It's okay. And I kept doing that, and it got to the point where one day I actually had to leave work because I couldn't see the screen. I couldn't look at the computer. I started crying because I couldn't see what I was teaching. And my vacation finally arrived, and I went back home. And I was going home for 3 weeks. And a couple of days before I was supposed to fly back, I went to a waterfall, and I actually broke my ankle. And I got to the hospital, and they told me, you have to have surgery. It takes about 60 days to recover. And I'm like, no, you don't understand it. I don't live in this country. I have to fly back in 2 days. I have to go. And they're like, no, you can't go. I really don't recommend it. You have to have surgery. It's really bad. If you don't have surgery right now, it's gonna affect you your whole life. And you can't fly right now. And I finally accepted it and decided to tell my boss that I wasn't flying back. I couldn't make it back, and I have to have surgery. And I sent him everything. I sent him, everything from the doctor, notes. I got notes in English, I think, and it took him a couple of days to respond. And I was actually at the hospital, and I got the email, and he said, okay, take care of yourself, but we don't really know if we have a job for you when you get back. And I cried so much. I remember when I got that email, I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? All of my things are in Chile. I was supposed to be here for 3 weeks. I don't have anything here. I didn't even have clothes because I normally, when I fly home, I bring wine and bring coffee back. So I didn't even have any clothes back home. Everything was here. And I cried for an entire day, at the hospital. And I cried and I cried. And at one point, I stopped crying, and I felt free. I felt lighter, and I felt so good, and I felt like a huge weight had come off my back, and I'd been trying to let go of it for so long, and I just couldn't for some reason. I kept finding reasons why not to let go, and I couldn't. And when I did, I'm like, I never have to go back to that office again. And it felt amazing. It felt so good. And then I started thinking wow, the universe tried to give me 100 reasons to get out of that place, and I had to actually break my freaking ankle to do it. And I realized that, I need things to come from the outside for me to let go of things. I need my shoes to be completely unwearable so I can actually get out of it. I need to break a freaking ankle to get out of my job, and I need external reasons. And in all of those times, it's always better when I do it. It's always better when I get out of it. So, I don't know, I guess I'm trying to understand that there's always another pair of boots. They might not cost $3, but they're gonna be there. Thank you.
those boots don't look too bad to me. Sounds like that boss wins the world's shittiest boss prize. hope he sees this. We hate you, you're a shithead. Anyhow, now